Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at the various motors and their uses in the lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight weight classes, as those are the ones I most commonly compete in. Right now you're looking at side bite, and this is going to be my canvas that I'm working on. 3-inch brushless, all the way up to the 37mm ungeared. They don't have a purpose within a heavyweight. To be frank, you're not going to use it. Let's be real. It's just, they're too weak, they're too small, etc., etc. You might want to use them for decor or something of the like, but I personally would not do them for anything because it's just not worth it. A20 at 150. It's the weakest of the Amplo series, however, it's the smallest. Here, let me just show you the Amplo series in order of strength. Okay, so you got the A20 at 150. It is the smallest, but also the weakest. The A40, that's the A20 400. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit stronger. Then you have that's the F3400. It's the strongest I'd use, and I would use all of these for drive motors. However, uh, the F3400 is what I use as a weapon motor and drumette. So if you're using a really small motor, I would suggest a really small, lighter weapon. I would suggest using this one. However, it's what you want to do. This is the strongest. This is the old drive of side bite. However, um, it's heavy, a little power hungry. That as is the whole Amplo series. They're all a little power hungry, but who isn't? Then moving on, you have the Multimotors, the A28-400 dual and the A28-400 quad. These are weapon motors because they're one of these duct taped together. Well, not duct tape, but like you get the idea. Um, pros pros of this is they have a lot of power. These are extraordinarily powerful. However, the downside is they're heavy for one, and for two, you need an ESC, a battery for each motor. So they're gonna suck battery. And then, moving on, we're gonna have, excuse me, let me get back to where I was. The, you're not gonna use this. You're not gonna use any of the beetle gears in this. The cat. This is the smallest and the in a good solid drive motor. It's very small, very light, very compact. And it's not very power hungry either. It is just over a kilo. It's very small. Actually, it's not even a kilo. Small, compact, strong. I'd say it's a really good drive motor. However, it's not as strong as a TP100 brushless or the like. However, it does take less battery. Dual gearbox motor. I'd say this is the brushed version of the cat. To be frank, small, light, compact. It's a little heavier than the cat. However, it's a little stronger. Um, Moto Energy, and I'm gonna put this with the Pancake E-Tech. The Moto Energy is a huge motor. It's heavy, it's big, it means business. And it's the strongest current setup you can have. That's why it's in side bite. And I recommend you use it for your weapon motor if you're going to be a weapon heavy bot, like if you're a horizontal spinner or a big ol' vertical spinner like Helios. Um, Pancake E-Tech. It's smaller, it's more compact, it's lighter. However, it's not as powerful as the Moto Energy. I use Pancakes in my dual bar because they're smaller and they can actually fit in the chassis. But the Moto Energy is much more powerful. I would use the Moto Energy for heavy, big ol' spinners like this. Despite how it looks, this is actually nearly a 40 kilo bar. Sorry, that's why I'm using that there. I'm not gonna use this. NPC 41250. People say they use this for drive motors. I don't. It's chunky, it's long, it's awkward. So I wouldn't. I personally don't, but you guys can. I'm never going to tell you not to do something. I'll tell you it's not a great idea, but I'm not going to tell you not to do it. NPC T64. This is low power, reliable drive. You don't need to really gear this much because it works as is. You can slap this into it, put an ESC to it, and put a battery to it, and it'll work. You might want to adjust it some to get it ideal, but for what you might need for right in this moment, it works. And the scooter DC motor. This is really just good for a decor. Not much really. Like, maybe if I wanted to turn the forks on side by into flippers or something for whatever reason, you guys could go wild. But you might use the scooter. And then last, but most certainly not least, the TP100 brushless. This is good for small weapons, like Drumet would be a good example of a bot I would use a TP100 brushless on. But for sidebite, he uses them for drive. It's a nice, powerful drive. Like, look, it whips a lot. It's really nice and strong. And with that being said, you guys have a good one, and I hope to be much more regular. I was going to upload yesterday with the update to the tutorial, but I was so dead tired that half of the video was incoherent rambling, and I just had to throw the whole video. With that being said, you guys have a good one.